I've seen every year's mega trade. I've been in these markets for 34 years. Think about that. Okay. 1994, 1995, I watched coffee do the unimaginable at that time. I watched the Japanese yen go vertical and then collapse. Okay. Like you just watched one thing and you think you know everything. You're just a child in this. You're a child. You have a mind of an infant. Okay. You just discovered something that everybody else has been doing this for a long time. We're not surprised that Bitcoin did that. We're not surprised. Every year there's market moves. A lot of you know that the initial attempt for Bitcoin to get to 20,000 years ago, I came out and I said, listen, and just let you know, it's not going to go to 20,000. And here's the reason why I know. And I knew without a doubt it wasn't going to go to 20,000 the first time. I got real close to it, but failed. And I came out on Twitter, or then, but it was Twitter then. And I said, you're not going to believe this. I'm sitting here in the living room of my house. My wife leans over and she says, listen, you ever hear of Bitcoin? And I said, what did you just say? And this is my wife. She has no idea what trading is. She's watched me do this stuff the entire time she's been married to me. In, I don't know, 4 years we dated before we got married. And she says to me, do you know what Bitcoin is? You ever heard of that? I was like, you did not just say that word. Because if you're talking about Bitcoin, we're near the top. And she says, because if you don't do anything with that, maybe you should look into it, because everybody's making money, and people at her functions and like her little girl things, their book clubs or whatnot, we're talking about it, saying that their husbands and their family members are getting ready to buy it. So I came out on Twitter. I said, I'm just letting you know it's not going to 20,000 because my wife literally asked me if I am trading Bitcoin. So there you go. That was a perfect top signal. And it dropped, went lower. And I said it was going to go down to 6,000. It went there. I thought it was going to go to 3,000. I think it went to $3,200. So I was off by 200. And I said in the future that I would tell you when it would go to 20,000, and it did. When I said it was going to go to 20,000, and I called 50,000, I called 70,000, and then I was off. I said that I didn't think it was going to get to 100,000. I didn't think it was going to do it, and he ran it through, and I said it was not going to go any higher than 127,000, and it never did. And I recently just went out and told you that we're going to see it go and explore below 100,000. But I know, and without a doubt, some of you are going to take it personal, and you think because I have a large following that I'm having some measure of influence that's causing these markets to go down. I'm not causing the markets to go up and down, folks. That's what I'm highlighting. The lunacy of some of you. You think I have sway over what the markets are going to do because I say it. That has nothing to do with it. That's the equivalent to buying and selling pressure. It doesn't exist. It's a myth. So we have seen, obviously, Bitcoin drop down, but it was performing, as I warned it would. And then we got down to 60,000, and I said, look, everybody now wants to be short on it. So if you have taken shorts, take some profits and get ready for, the normal ebb and flow that's going to come. And I think we saw like 10,000 from 60 or 12, maybe 12,000 rally up on Bitcoin. I don't believe that's the low. But here's some of the technical teachings that I want you to learn from our discussion today. Silver, I told you that there is not enough physical supply of silver to meet all of the contracts that were purchased over the last 6 to 7 months. It's not there. So, but silver has always been like this. It's eventually going to go up. Eventually it would, but there has to be some kind of reason to do it. And when we had a shift in the batteries in cell phones, the lithium batteries were having problems, catching fire and blowing up and whatnot. And they discovered there was efficiency also by using silver inside of there. So now we have a real commercial use for more silver, and There's other things out there besides just the cell phone battery, but that's the largest one. And think about how many people have a cell phone and how they have planned obsolescence programmed into them. So that means if you keep a phone 2 years, immediately during the updates, they're purposely causing them to not work efficiently. So that way you go do what? Spend $1,200, $1,500 for a brand new phone. Even if you do it over payments, you're still spending that money. So it's built in like we do in America. We build cars to expire. So you buy more of them. Whereas like the Japanese, you buy a car there, you're getting 10 years out as long as you take care of it, if not more. So there's a real commercial use for silver now. And I told you this was coming. I told you gold and silver is going to go up. I told my private students in 2020 that like it's going to go up a lot. But I told that same thing in 2019, in July and in October of 2019 on Twitter. I said, buy metals, buy them. It's going to go nuts. It's going to go crazy because all of the geopolitical things. I told you that Russia and China were going to be on the stage. Every year there's market moves. Look what happened last year in cocoa. Look what it did. Cocoa, its margin was next to nothing. How much money did you make in cocoa? How much money did you make in your Bitcoin at the same time? Crickets. But you got words. You got bants. So there's no supply for silver. We got final delivery notice, end of March 2026. So when March contract expires, the way the futures markets work is anyone that is a commercial user or anyone that wants to take delivery of the commodity, okay? Like for instance, say Samsung. Samsung creates cell phones and their batteries, they're lithium, and they're transitioning to a more efficient, more safe approach to using that battery by implementing a layer of silver. So it buffers and it removes that threat, or at least they have a belief that it's going to mitigate it. It's that way. I'm not saying it. I'm saying that's the research is what it's saying. So right away, every future cell phone is going to have a measure of silver that it didn't have before. Now do that over millions and millions and millions of cell phones that are being purchased, every month, and then recycled and get a new one when people's cell phones become made obsolete. So you have a built-in demand, a real supply and demand factor for silver. What do you think an investment of, I don't know, $35,000 was worth just a couple weeks ago in silver that was positioned last year? Millions.